Hey, Kenning here with a game review for you, Spellweaver TCG. That's right, it's a collectible card game that's coming out. Open beta will be the end of April. It's currently in closed beta. And it sits right in the middle of Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering. It's kind of got a sweet spot that's the best of both worlds. The developers contacted me and said, would you like to check it out, give it a review, let us know what you think? I said, absolutely. And after spending the weekend playing this, I am absolutely loving this. I'm really digging into it, and I've kind of stopped playing Hearthstone. I mean, say it ain't so, right? So why don't we go ahead and look at what makes this game so fun, and let me know what you think.
Toss the bucket.
All right, so here we have the layout, or the base screen, if you will, the game board that has all the different factions. Now, you've got 6 different factions or 6 different races that you can play. We'll go over those in a minute. They're broken up into areas on this map, and I really kind of like this. It kind of brings back that old school game board, tabletop gaming mentality. Really like how everything is set up, and you can see all these little flags here, locked, exclamation points. These are quests, so there's a lot of quests that are going to happen. Much more than Hearthstone. I will go back to that quite a bit. That gives you up to 3 quests a day. You can reroll 1 of those, and that's it. There's a ton of quests all over this map, and as you meet the requirements, this one, of course, win a PvE challenge, progress 0 of 1. Now, this one is locked, but if you want to unlock it, you simply click it and you fight. It's a PvE type of quest. Those are kind of cool, and each one of these areas has one. This area down here, I've kind of cleared out, so there's usually 3 or 4 more flags in this area. There's others that are requirements. Play 10 games of the Wisdom Hero. Progress 2 of 10. So it tracks your progress. That's really cool. But once you play 10 games of the Wisdom Hero, that quest will be unlocked and available. Over here in the upper right, upper center, if you will, is the epic. Currently, it's an epic daily quest. This is the Academy, so to speak. Or, so to speak. No, it actually is the Academy. Now, this is a cool one. This is an epic daily quest. They're not always epics. There's different levels of quests. There's common, uncommon, epic, rare, I think. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with the quests that really add a lot more to the game. So there's something to do all the time. It's not just, grind for a couple quests and then grind up the ladder, play some arena. There's a lot more going on, and there's a lot more variety. So I think it's got quite a long life as far as playability is concerned. So I'll let you poke around on this map when you get your own access, but that's kind of a quick rundown. Over here we've got, one of the things I don't like is the settings here. The buttons are a little hard to see. Didn't quite notice them at first. Over here we've got play versus a friend, so you can go ahead and click on this if you know the friend's name, type it in, and you can do a direct challenge. We're all kind of familiar with that challenge friends type of setup. Over here we've got the settings, the system options. Not a lot of options right now. This is a closed beta, so give it a chance. Still working out some things here. Music I've got turned down all the way. There's some sound. Full screen mode. The issue with full screen mode is you can't really exit the game. You kind of have to Alt F4 or Alt Tab out and close it out that way. It's kind of strange. I know they're working on that. They're gonna fix that, but it is kind of a pop-up window full screen mode, so you can click the other monitors and things like that, which is nice. Replay tutorial. Of course, it starts out with a tutorial, so if you'd like to replay the tutorial again, if you're not quite getting it, there's the button to do so. And your redeem key, if you get access, you just enter in your key there. I've got gold access and immediate access that the developers gave me, so I put in both of those keys, and it gave me some crystals and some gold and some packs and that type of thing. Let's see what else we got. We got the leaderboard. So this is also a really cool feature I like. Of course, I'm currently ranked 0-0 because I haven't done any actual ranked laddering yet. I've just been playing it for the weekend, learning about the game. And it has a little bit of a learning curve, a little bit steeper than, say, Hearthstone or some of the more simple games, collectible card games out there. But it doesn't seem to be as... I'm not a big Magic the Gathering player myself, but it doesn't seem to be quite as difficult as Magic the Gathering. That, of course, is a much more established game. There's tons and tons of cards out there. A lot of people know what they're doing. This game, I believe, has somewhere around 200, 250 cards right now. I could be wrong on that. But it's a lot easier to swallow and manage such a smaller amount. Not sure where I'm going with that, but anyway, leaderboard. Yes, so here we've got we have the global ranking, and then we have a weekly ranking, which is kind of nice. I think I toggled those backwards. Your win-loss record, of course, and then the rating. You can go all the way down. You can see how you rank, how you stack up. I think this is really nice because it gives you more of a, you know where everyone sits, you know what I mean? It's not, hey, I'm just going to queue up and see where I stack, and, you know, I may have a, if I reach Legend, I'll have a ranking number, but it doesn't really show you exactly where you are on the ladder. So this is kind of a nice feature. I really like this. That is currently only showing stats for the ranked ladder games. There is also, over here, you can see this is grayed out, the Trials button, which is going to, from my understanding, run just like Hearthstone Arena. You're going to have 3 cards to pick from every time. You're going to build up your deck. Now, decks have to have a minimum of 60 cards here, not 30, so there's a little bit of a difference there. And then you go against certain other players who are playing in the Trials, and the more you win, the better the reward is, that type of thing. I really like that setup, and I'm glad they borrowed that idea, because it really adds yet another level of complexity to the game as far as, well, not necessarily complexity. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's just more playability. So you've got the Trials going on. You've got quick battles over here. You can play friendly games, ranked games. So that's nice. You can choose between the two. Here's another cool feature. You can play against a computer if a match isn't found. You can also directly play against the AI if you don't want to worry about that. But by checking this, of course, right now, you'll see that there are 27 players online and 17 in-game. Not a lot of people right now, but the game is in closed beta, so they're kind of slowly giving more people more access. This is especially nice to have that option right now because I can be waiting for a long time to queue in, and instead of just spinning around, it's going to say, all right, you know what, I think the limit is somewhere around 30 seconds or so. You really don't wait very long. You queue up against the computer, and then you just play that way. It still counts as a friendly or a ranked game. Well, I'm not sure about the ranked part. I haven't tried that yet. But it still counts as a friendly game as far as the quests are concerned. It just said, hey, there's no real player on the other end, so let's match you up with the computer, and you can keep on going. So that's a cool feature. Back over here, we got one more button to talk about, and that's the rewards. You can see I have a gold account in the media key. Like I said, the developers contacted me. They gave me those. And this kind of tells you some of the rewards that you've got. Not a lot going on right now, but that's the 4th option. I want to make sure I cover all these. Of course, down here, Facebook page, visit forum, you know, that's just some social stuffs. Over here, we've got, I have 1,520 crystals and 4,245 gold. Similar to media games or mobile platforming games and things, you've got gold, you've got crystals. Crystals are things that you can't, either you buy with real money or you earn, they're worth more, harder to get type of thing. It's just a different type of currency. Gold, of course, is what you get from completing daily quests and you know, battles and that type of thing. Over here, let's see, that's okay, we're over on the left-hand side now. We've already covered quick battles, there it is. We've covered trials, which isn't really accessible right now. So now we've got heroes. There's 6 different heroes or 6 different factions. Actually, there's a lot more than 6 heroes, but there's 6 factions, and let me check on these real quick to make sure I get the names correct. You've got the Order faction. I'm going to go ahead and click on this. The Order faction, and this is a hero from the Order faction. You've got the Order is kind of like, you can think of it as like a paladin type. And then you've got the Wisdom faction. This is kind of like a mage. Down here you've got the, what is this? The Nature, that's the Nature hero. Nature is kind of like your Druid type setup. Then we have Corruption. This is the Corruption hero, I believe. Then we have Dominion and Rage. Okay, so this is the Dominion hero, and then here's the Rage hero. So I hope they flush this part out because it's kind of hard. You notice I'm going back to the webpage and I'm cross-referencing a few things. Can't really tell what's going on right here. I can select the hero and wait for it. Okay, there's the hero and the cards in the deck, but you don't really know what faction this is or what the name of the hero is, and there's actually more than one type of hero per faction. So, and what I'll show you what I mean by that. So this is the Order, Alexia Battle Maiden. She Rally the Peasants is her base skill. They can get, all heroes get up to 3 different skills as you progress and level up through the game. So there's some leveling that goes on while you're playing, which is kind of nice as well. Like I said, it's a lot more complex than if you're used to playing Hearthstone, but I like it. It's not hard to understand. It really adds a lot more replayability and a lot more things going on. A lot more skill-based, a lot less RNG. I'm loving that. So Rally the Peasants costs 1 order. 1 order level. That's the little yellow dot over there. I can show you that little yellow dot. As soon as I move my mouse, it goes away. It requires 1 order level. It requires 2 mana. That's the purple crystal you see there. And then it has a cooldown of 2. So that's the first level. or the first skill for this particular hero. Now we go down to the Rage. We've got Zash Flamebringer. Oh, actually, I can just click on it and that works better. This requires 1 Rage level, requires 2 mana, has a cooldown of 3, so he deals 1 damage to an enemy creature or hero. Zash Flamebringer is not the only Rage hero. What I've got over here is I've got actually Zash Annihilator and Zash Annihilator. I've got 2 different Zash Annihilators. So here's the difference. Deal 3 damage to each creature and each hero. So he has a different skill that he starts off with. Now this requires 2 Rage and 1 level, so basically level 3, but this is any faction. So I haven't discussed this yet, but when you build your decks, you can put more than 1 type of card in that deck. They don't have to be all Rage decks or red decks. You can have a red-green. As a matter of fact, one of the decks I'm playing right now is a red-green. It's actually got a green hero, so I guess we call that a green-red. But you can have different mix of there, so you gotta have a level from any faction, it doesn't matter, but you need a total of 3. 2 of them must be Rage. This requires 5 mana to cast this, and it has a cooldown of 3. Obviously this is a pretty strong spell because it deals 3 damage to each creature and each hero, yourself included on that one. It's kind of like a board clear, but it is very powerful, so it's going to take you quite a long time to get up to this and to get 5 mana and whatever, you get the point. So there's different heroes per faction. Here's another interesting thing that I hope maybe changes. You'll notice I've got 1 deck for Order, 1 deck for Wisdom, 1 deck for Nature, 1 deck for Corruption, Dominion, Rage. I think I'm memorizing them now. And these are kind of somewhat pre-made decks. And it gives you a nice total in the bottom. 60 cards, 13 creatures, 4 artifacts, 20 spells, 23 shrines. However, you cannot build a deck unless you have a hero to build underneath that. So until you open up card packs and get more heroes in those card packs, you can't build another deck. If I wanted to build a new Dominion deck, I would have to go into Edit and delete all these and start over using that same Dominion hero. I've only got 1 Dominion hero. Now because I've got 3 Rage heroes, I can build 3 different Rage decks. I hope that makes sense. It seems a little strange. Not really sure why it's set up that way. You'd think maybe I could just, if I wanted to build a Rage deck, I could just start over, but it's centered around that hero. That, everything falls underneath that particular hero. So, alright, we'll work with it. It is what it is. So let's talk about the deck building real quick. We're going to go into the Nature deck. This is the deck that I use currently most of the time. The one I'm most familiar with. It's got 60 cards, 23 creatures, 0 artifacts, 12 spells, and 25 shrines. So why don't we go ahead and look at this. Now I've modified this several times over the weekend for my playstyle and how I like to work. This is kind of, it's got a lot of range and a lot of removal. It can be very aggressive. It's not too controlling. I really can't categorize it right now. It just kind of worked for me. So anyway, we're going to Edit Deck. Now, when you're editing your deck, this part of the deck building is kind of nice. There's a lot of cool things, a few wonky things. We'll talk about them. The filters over here, I really like these because I can filter by, like I said, this is a red-green deck, so I've got Nature and I've got Rage. I turn those 2 on and it only shows me red and green cards. I can search by rarity, common, uncommon, rare, epic, turn them all on. Excuse me, all off. Let's turn them all on so we can look at them. You can alphabetize them, turn them off. One thing this does not have is a search feature. If I wanted to search for all cards that draw cards or something, I can't really find those. I have to kind of read through all the cards, and so hopefully they add a search feature. Over here we've got the cards themselves, and you can filter by creature, by spell, by artifact, by shrine. All of them are on right now. I can turn them all off. Turn them all on. Favorites. If you want to favorite a card, I really like Elven Sanctuary, so I'm going to add 2 favorites. And it does not work. I was kind of aware it didn't work. I just wanted to show you that. The idea, I guess, is you add those cards to your favorites and you can find them easier. And then new cards. So as you open up packs or you get things, it tells you what the newest cards are that you received all the way down. So, okay. Going from left to right, over on the right-hand side now, we've got... I really wish they'd put the hero's name or something... more information is needed on this screen as far as what you're choosing, I think. When you want to build, so down here it says 60. I can have more than 60. So why don't we look at, let's give it a good example, the Test of Time. Destroy an artifact or spell. It's an instant spell. A lot going on here. This is going to be a long video. Instant spells, if you're familiar with Magic the Gathering, are something that you can cast at any point in time. It does not have to be on your turn. These are not available in Hearthstone. A lot of times, instant spells you think might kill the game or really make things really weird or hard to get established or hard to explain what I'm trying to explain, maybe? The instant spells here work really well. They're not overpowered. They're in this case, it's destroying an artifact, which is only a small aspect of what your hero is trying to do, or your opponent's hero is trying to do. And there's not a lot of instants. They're done very well, and I haven't really seen any issues with them. So, that being said, if I want to add Test of Time to my deck, what I do is I drag it over here, and I drop it, and it immediately goes down to spells, and adds 2. I had 2 in my deck. It immediately adds all the ones available that you have, and I go up to 62. Don't really like that. If you want to adjust them, you click on it and you go up or down. That's kind of weird. I can't just drag one at a time. I'd have to drag all of them. So, for example, Elf Scout, I have 6 of them. If I was going to drag them into my deck, it would drag all 6. And then I would have to adjust from there. However, in that particular case, since this is a creature, I can only have 4 copies in my deck. That's a maximum. We're looking at here. Elf Scouts. I can't actually go up from 4. Maximum of 4 creatures in your deck. Elf Warrior, maximum of 4, that type of thing. Let's see, what else do we got? What else can we talk about? So that you kind of Alright, so over here you've got your listing. It tells you the number of cards that you have, and then it tells you 1 means it requires 1 mana. It requires 1 nature level. It's the green and the nature level of 1. Weird. I just found something new. So apparently I can change the icon for the hero. I don't know why. Interesting. Okay, let's do my legendary. Sure, that works. Anyway. Got a little sidetrack there. I was learning new things, right? Cool. All right, so whatever. I changed my little icon picture. 1 green. Elf Scout takes 1. There we go. That's what I was trying to do to begin with. Takes 1 nature level. Down here we've got Disciple of Zash. Love this card. It's actually one of my favorite Rage Red cards. Requires 2 mana. It requires 1 Rage and 1 of something else. This is a support card, so we may actually go in and play a game. I'll show you there's a support line and a front line. This sits on the support line. Support lines cannot be attacked, and they don't attack unless they're flying, basically. So the support card, costs 1 mana and Z's him, puts him to sleep, basically. But you spend 1 mana and he can deal 1 damage to a creature or hero. Very helpful, and he sits on the support line, so he can't be targeted except by another Goblin Shaman or just another Disciple of Zash or a spell or something. You know, a spell will reach the support line, but your frontline troops or your support line, your flying creatures on your support line cannot attack your support line. Yeah, you'll see what I mean. It's not too difficult to understand. After that, this is pretty much it. You've got shrines, spells we're all familiar with, creatures, okay, so shrines. Basically, you've noticed I got 9 shrines, 2 of these elven sanctuaries, and 14 rage shrines. So shrines are essentially something that you can play 1 of per turn, and you need to play them, because it gives you either +1 rage level, or +1 mana and +1 card. Draw a card. So you either get a mana and draw a card, or you get a rage level. And you can see when you look at someone like my legendary here, he requires 2 rage levels and another level of rage, or in this case, nature. So I have to spend 3 of those shrines to be able to play this person. Plus, I need to spend 2 more of those shrines or 1 more shrine. You start with 1 mana to get up to 2 mana to be able to play this person. One more thing I forgot to talk about on these cards is down here you have your attack power, which is 3, and 2 is your life. We're all familiar with the attack and life aspect. What you've got here is 4 notches, and whether it is red, which is 1. 2 is yellow, 3 is green, as you see here, or 4 is light blue. This is your speed. Speed determines whether or not you can attack somebody. You'll notice over here this spawns a Goblin Warrior. Goblin Warrior has a speed of 2. This has a speed of 3. Goblin Warrior cannot attack someone with a speed higher than them. So the Goblin Warrior could not attack the Goblin Recruiter. The Goblin Recruiter, however, could attack a slower minion. And you'll see what happens when we play out a game, but basically the speed dictates if you're slow, you can't attack something faster than you. Bottom line there. And this one also has a Swift. Swift is essentially, as soon as you play it, you can, as soon as you play the card, you can actually use the card. You don't have to wait a turn. There's a few other things we'll talk about as well. Oh, here it is. Swift can attack on the turn it enters the field or moves to the front line. Most of the tooltips and things that you'll see on these cards are pretty self-explanatory, and you get the hang of it really quickly. There's a few that took me a little while to get the hang of and understand what they meant, and I'm still learning some of them. But we'll cover those as we go along. So let's get out of here, and we're done talking about the cards and everything else. I'll explain when we play a game. Talked about the heroes. Talked about the collection is really only just another visual of what you were seeing when you're building the cards. It's just a way to just look at your cards. You don't have to actually go into building a deck to look at them. And of course, your cards and decks will be lost when accounts are reset before April 24th for the open beta. So they've set a date of April 24th now, and that's just reminding you that you're gonna wipe all your cards. Everyone's gonna start fresh April 24th. All right, so that's it. I think I've covered everything. If I haven't, let me know. I will make other videos if you like to go over how to do one specific thing so you can find it later and reference it. But for right now, let's go over to playing a game. All right, so I'm going to select Quick Battle here. I'm going to do just a friendly game. We're going to start. I'm not going to do anything against AI. We'll see who we queue up against here. This is kind of interesting. In your time zone, most players are active between 11 and 1300. So they're telling me that generally between 11 in the morning and 1 o'clock in the afternoon is when most people they're noticing in my time zone are logging in. So you get an idea of when everyone else is playing. That's kind of nice. So we're waiting for an opponent, and we'll see how long this ticks up before it actually the servers kick in and say, hey, there's nobody around. It's way past 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So 30 seconds, 31. Okay, so 31 seconds. Let's see if we queue up against a person. This is not a person. Alexa is a AI computer, so we're playing against a computer. Now, when you want to mulligan, you either draw again or keep. Basically, you keep everything you see, or you draw again. It wipes all their cards, and you get a whole new fresh set. You don't get to choose one or the other, which ones you want to throw away. So I'm going to draw this again because I've got 2 raid shrines, and that's it. You want to start out with a lot more shrines because that gives you your level and that gives you your mana. So let's go ahead and draw again. And I got a raid shrine, and a nature shrine. Over here, this landslide is nice. Tornado is removal. I don't have anything. The first creature I can play is my Disciple of Zash. So I'm going to need to play a nature and a rage. And Fireball is just another spell. So why don't we go ahead and play. It really doesn't matter at this point. Well, I'll go ahead and do. When you select it, you either a nature card or a mana +1 card. You need to do a nature card. I need to get a nature level in there. When you're done with your turn, click over here, end turn. While the computer's going to go really fast, players take a lot more time. So I'm not going to have a lot of time to explain what's going on because up here you'll notice there's timers. Each person starts with 20 minutes. That continually ticks. Every time it's my turn or I have the ability to do something, my timer ticks down, and vice versa. Your opponent's ticks down when it's their turn to do something. Over here you've got a deploy phase, a combat phase, a reinforce phase, and end turn. So those all cycle, and every time this is my side over here. This is my opponent's side. Every time it's on one of these, I'm losing time. So I don't always have a lot of time to dictate what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and do my rage level. I don't need mana yet. And yeah, the computer takes no time at all. A little bit of an unfair advantage there. Okay, so this is a 1-1. Notice he's moving over to... A lot of stuff going on. I'm really trying to keep up with what's going on. He's over in the attack phase, so he's going to attack me. I like this little this connection thing. You kind of set up all your attacks first. Now it's my turn to retaliate. I can send with Tornado Outbreak. I have 1 mana, and I have 1 mana available. This is a highlighted crystal. I can send him back to his hand, but it's only a 1-1, so I'm going to let it go. The reason why is because I have something up my sleeve next. Go ahead and there's a lot of acknowledgments back and forth. So what we've got here is I want my Disciple of Zash to come out. So let's go ahead and do a 1 mana, 1 card. Now I meet the requirements for Disciple of Zash. I have 1 rage and I have 1 of something else, and I have 2 mana. So we're going to go ahead and play him. Can't do anything with him this turn because I'm out of mana. If I had 1 more mana, I could click on him and I would kill this. That's what we're going to do next turn. Let's go ahead and pass that turn here. There's a lot of stuff going on, lots of things. One more okay, so not much I can do. I'm out of mana. So in your attack phase and your block phase, you can't use the same person twice. So it really becomes a test of what do I want to play with, what do I want to be aggressive with, and what do I want to save for my opponent's attack phase so that I can block. I can't block, I can't do anything. This anyone on the support line here can't do any blocking anyway, unless they're a flying creature. And I don't have any mana to use his ability, so I just have to let that 2 go through. Okay, what's going on here? So Elven Sanctuary is a different type of shrine, nature shrine, because you'll notice here I can get 1 nature level, or I can gain a skill and 1 mana. Instead of 1 mana and a card, I get a skill. This skill is an elf you control gets 1 attack and 2 horsepower. 2 horsepower, 2 health until the end of the turn. You'll notice over here, this is my base 1 skill, my native terrain. Essentially, I can give a player Swift. That doesn't normally come with Swift for 1 mana. So here's the 3 skill levels. I'm going to go ahead and use this because I want more mana, and I'm going to gain that skill. I've got 2 skills to choose from, that's nice. And also, I can do a Fireball. Why don't we go ahead, let's see, we've got 2 and 1. And 2, and I've got 3 mana. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and kill this with our Fireball. And we've got 1 mana left. I can't use his ability. The way to use their ability is, you'll notice the purple outline, you click on it and then you select this. A little strange, but you get used to it. I'm actually just going to... hold on. That was a buff card, so I am going to do this. And we're going to go ahead and kill him. And boom. Alright, so doing alright. That's going to be difficult, so that's on his range or his support line, so we can't really target that right now. What can I do? What can I do? Let's see, I can do Elf Warrior. That's for removing artifacts and spells. So remember, if you have a shrine and you kind of want to play a shrine every turn, that doesn't count against your mana or anything. You want to always play a level. Let's see. We got. Is it basically the way this card deck works out is if I have 1 nature and 1 rage, I can pretty much play everything except for like my legendary. So once I get 1 nature and 1 rage, I just work on mana. I do need more rage levels later, so we're going to save that one. And I'm going to play my nature with 1 mana, 1 card. Cycle cards. There's a Fire Blast. That's kind of an AoE type of thing. I don't have a Fireball in which to range him. I can only shoot 1. I need to kill that. So we're not going to be able to do anything except we're going to send it back into his deck. I'm going to play an Elf Warrior. And I'm going to end my turn. Now I still have 1 mana left if I need to use my Disciple of Zash to shoot something. Not going to happen here, not going to work. This is the Relic Guard is essentially a blocker. It can't attack at all, but it has 3 health, and it's kind of a pain in the butt to get rid of. And it will take all the blocks for you, and I'll probably have to show... Oh, actually, I'm not going to show you what that looks like, because we're going to play our Rage Shrine. 1 mana, 1 card. You always want to stack up on mana as much as you can. And I'm going to Landslide, send this away, and this away. Boom, get rid of those. I've got 1 mana left. Just in case, why don't we go ahead and attack. And I'm going to save that mana. The only other option I could actually shoot a hero with 1 damage, but what's that going to do? Right? Alright, so the Griffin Rider comes back out again, Militia comes back out again. So generally speaking, this is going to block whatever we try to throw at the Militiaman or the Griffin. However, we can always get rid of them. Okay, so Let's see. We don't need to worry about gaining a skill, but I want to save my Rage Shrine in case I need it to get that 3rd level. We've got 6 mana now. No artifacts. Fire Blast. Why don't we go ahead and... interesting. Okay, so we're going to do the Orc Javelin and Disciple of Zash. Alright, so this is interesting. This is a ranged creature. So what I like about ranged creatures is they attack, and it tells you here, deals damage in combat before non-ranged creatures. So combat's a little strange because if you have a player that's going up against, let's say I use the Elf Warrior to block the Griffin Rider, like this. Okay, so instead of attacking my hero, I'm going to block him from attacking my hero. Now this Griffin is going to come down, and neither of these are ranged, so they're going to attack at the same time, basically. Griffin Rider is going to kill my Elf Warrior, of course, because it's got 3 damage and he only has 2 health. But it's going to take 2 of his damage to kill the Elf Warrior, which means he only has 1 damage left from that 3 damage initially. So if I was to stack up something else, which I can't right now, then he would hit if I was blocking with 2 creatures, 2 Elf Warriors, for example. There's a second Elf Warrior over here. Once he kills this one, he's going to, because I'm blocking with both, he has to attack the other one. He only has 1 attack power, so he will not kill the other Elf Warrior because it will only hit him by 1. Elf Warrior will, in effect, kill him. I hope that makes sense. That might be an incorrect explanation, but that seems to be generally how it works, is you use up your attack power for each person you hit. It gets reduced, essentially. Now, once the attack is over, I think I'm actually going to do this. That's a good trade. Once the attack is over, if they're not killed, they don't stay damaged. They get their health back. How can I show that works? Okay. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? So let's start with taking care of these guys, and they're pretty much instant, so there's nothing he can do about that. Now, this is an interesting card because it's life-bound, which means you gain 1 life point for each point of damage dealt. There's another win condition besides killing your opponent or losing... What am I on time? 10 minutes, okay. There's another win condition, which is getting up to 40 health. This helps you get to 40 health. If you get to 40 health, you win as well. It's another win condition. So range, this is how range works. Okay, I can't attack with range because I've only got 1 speed and it's a 2 speed. Alright, that's right. Basically what happens with ranged is they're able to attack first, and their attack goes through. If you kill that person, they don't get to attack back. It's kind of nice. Let's do Fireball here. And I probably should have done Fire Blast, but I'm running out of time and I'm getting a little flustered. Alright, let's go ahead and let that go through. Probably going to block with this. Nope, he lets it go through. And let's do I want to do a Rage Shrine? Sure, why not? Let's just get mana and cycle another card. The Rage Shrine, alright, fine, whatever. I don't want to play this because it will remove spells. So let's see what's going on here. Can't block it. Gotta let it go through. Ambushing Sharpshooter. This is a ranged and it's a swift, which means as soon as I play it, I can also attack it. So here's what's going to happen. Play this card. It's a swift. I immediately... Okay, can anything block it? This can block it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take care of this. 1 damage across the board. And let's do it this way. Now, it will not be able to do any damage to me because this is a ranged person. So they get to attack first. No, it pacifies. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Oh. Okay, so I can move these up front. They still... I don't think they can attack. But what I want to do is that right there. And you have to excuse me if I stop talking, but I really want to make sure I win. And I don't run out of time. You insta-lose if you run out of time. Can I not do that? Oh, I'm in the... Never mind. I was in the reinforce phase. In the attack phase. Alright, so we're going to... range Swift. Don't have any more... Let's see. I don't have any more shrine cards right now. Back there. Attack there. Back there. Well, I can play that afterward. Actually... Oh man, these pacifiers are really killing me. Heavy infantry, alright. Spells, activate powers, nothing I can do there. Okay, so I have no shrine cards. Okay, I got a shrine card, but you also have Divine Offering, which you can exchange a card in your hand, or a Shrine Core card basically gives you 4 cards for 1 in your hand. If it contains no shrines, you get nothing, however. But in the case where you don't have a shrine, you kind of need to do that sometimes to keep going. Here's a nature shrine. Alright, we're going to go ahead now. Let's not play that. Alright. Let's get rid of this. Definitely get rid of this. I've never actually had 3 shamans in a support row, and that's all I can do. It's kind of strange. Not doing so great here. Heavy infantry is going to be a problem. They're very slow, which means anything I play can pretty much block it. I just have to get to the Elf Warrior. Give me some cards, give me something I can use. Alright, Elf Warrior. I'm going to go ahead and Swift it so I can do that, and I'm going to head and buff it so I can do a 3/4. That there. I'm going to kill this so that it doesn't come down and block. And plenty of mana, boy, let me tell you. Never not had a problem with mana. And we'll let that go through. That should kill that. And you'll notice it took 2 damage, but at the end of this turn, it's back up to, you know, kind of self-heals. That is a spell. It is a buff, and I can't play this. So I can get rid of it. I can get rid of it next turn. If it's not a 1 turn only. It's a permanent, which means I play this. Probably should have played the Nature Shrine first. I always play, you know, play draw first. So it's going to target that. It's going to remove the Angelic Might from it, which is kind of cool. This one card. All right. These, and I can deal 1 damage here. This is a range, which means it gets to attack first. That's on cooldown, so I can't Swift that. But we've got plenty of mana to do this. Now, I could save these to remove whatever creature they play next. But I'm going for the win. I've got 5 minutes left. Peasants. Okay, not going to make a difference. Something I can use. Nope, nothing I can use. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so what's... Alright. We're not going to be able to do it this turn because I need to kill both of these. If I do not, they will block. And they're going to die, of course, but they'll block, they'll mitigate that 2 damage to the hero, which I need to go through. So I'm going to be 1 short. And we'll get them next turn. The turn. 10 minutes left. Alright, let's just go ahead and do this right now. Make sure we can... Boom. Okay, there's the game. There it is. Done. A little strange. Normally it says you won and it gives you a little screen that you can click on. But there you go. That's a first game. I know there was a lot going on and I kind of tripping over my words. And, you know, look, if you had any questions, post in the comments below. I'll sub-segment this out. I just wanted to get this review out to let you guys know about it. And also, I have 5 beta keys. If anyone is interested, post in the comments below. I will send you a beta key. There's only 5. Sorry. So once 5 people post and they request it, that's it for now. But if you got any other questions, let me know. I'll make some more videos of this. And as I get into deck building and other things, I think I'm going to start featuring a little bit more of the Spellweaver TCG. So thanks for watching. A bit of a long video, a lot going on, but I hope you enjoyed it. And I will show you some more later. See you next time. Ready.